Um, so my number one goal for doing this is to get you all to like do high tickets. That's it. Like that's my number one goal. And for some of you, especially Christina and Susan, are very new to this whole funnel world. And I'm not going to get into funnels, but just for your sake, I'm going to explain what I mean by high ticket before I get into like why you need to be doing it. Okay. So right here, is this backwards or forwards for you guys? Can you see that at all?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then it came apart. 1 second. All right. So this is what's called a value ladder. And you two are in my value ladder. So you usually find your customers with something kind of free or low cost, which you guys found me via the app, right? And then you send them up a value ladder. You get them into a challenge or into a course. You give them a little nugget of something that you offer. And then at the very top of the value ladder is your high ticket offer. And that's something that you're offering them that's around $5,000, $25,000. Sometimes I've seen them for $42,000. And so right now you guys are in my challenge, or you're going to be in my challenge. So you're sort of in the middle. It's like the challenge is so you can get a taste of what I have to offer. And so going up to that next level is really super easy. So that's just like the whole like 10,000 foot view of what a funnel or a value ladder is. And what I want to convince you is, yeah, this is important to have something for customers to come in and discover you with. But what's really important, usually what they teach you, what I've seen in a lot of coaching, is to like create this product, then create that product, then create that. And then, at the very end, you're finally got the credentials to do the high ticket. And what I want to convince you is that you need to flip that you start at the high ticket. And that's really why that's really where you're going to add a lot of value. And second, what I want to tell you is that selling the high ticket isn't, coercion or anything like you're pushing them into something they don't want. It's actually elegant and choreographed. Like you're taking somebody into your home and you're setting them down to a beautiful banquet after they haven't been able to eat for a couple of days. You're like, here you go, just feast. And that's what it feels like. It's like a nice chat over a cup of coffee is what it is. So, and it's not like an event that you like build up to, or it's just really super simple, and it's not emotional. It's like both Christine and Susan have been through one of my high ticket closings just recently. And so they know, like, were you pressured, or did you feel pressure or coercion or any, right, exactly. So I'm going to show you how to do that, and how you can walk your customer through that. And I'm also going to go through some of the mental thoughts about high ticket. Like we have a lot of different beliefs about selling around this price point that I'm going to try and knock down as well. And like for you, I'm going to introduce myself for Claudio, because he doesn't really know who I am. So the rest of the group do. So I'm just going to give a background. And also if this video gets shared, then people can hear about me. So my name is Carla White, and I got into entrepreneurship through creating a best-selling app, which is how these women found me, was through my app. And that app launched 10 years ago. I'm the first woman to launch an iPhone app, and it did really well. Built an agency after I had the app, and because it did so well, and everybody was asking me, how did you make this app? Can you make me an app? So I was making an app for other people, and had this app agency, wrote a book, which was published by Wiley called Idea to iPhone, and had all of this, and I like completely burnt out because I was still working dollar for hour. Dollar per hour. Each hour was billable in some way. And you just can't scale that. And so I went to this event called Funnel Hacking Live. Well, actually, a woman got my book, Idea to iPhone, and she said, this would be a great lead magnet for a funnel. And I said, thank you very much. What is a lead magnet and what's a funnel? And she explained kind of this. She gave me some videos by Russell Brunson, and I watched them, and I just went, and I thought, oh my God, I can do more for these people than just give them an app. I can like just give them all this knowledge that I have and take them on this journey together. And so at this event, I saw people, like one person after another, going up on stage, getting this big award called the 2 Comma Club Award. And when they get that for making $1 million. And now the people getting these awards is what shocked me. Like, they were 21, 22, you know, they didn't have MBAs, you know, most of them didn't even finish college. And it was just like, what are these people doing? And at the end of the event, they sold this membership to a high ticket membership group coaching called 2 Comma Club X, which I'm a member of. And that's where these two gentlemen come in, as they are in that group with me. And I dove deep into what all this takes. And seriously, after like studying this inside and out, and if you've been on my email list, you probably saw like, what's she offering now? What's this weird thing? And it was mainly just me trying to throw spaghetti at the wall, trying to see what sticks. And then I started to look deeper into the high ticket. Like, I was already selling high ticket before this. Why not go back? Like, when I was creating apps, I was selling those at like $60,000, $120,000 for an app. So why don't I go back to that area? And looked at what it took. And so, you know, a lot of it's mindset, I will say, a lot of offering this. And, you know, I was a little scared. Like, my first high ticket that I offered was $497, like $497. That was my high ticket. And I was really nervous offering that. And I closed them on the phone, and it was really bad. And I like totally over delivered. Well, guess what? Some of those $497 high tickets are now the ambassadors in the challenge that I'm doing. So they're like lifelong, whatever you want, Carla sort of people. So that's, and so I'm not saying to do it at that level, but what I'm saying is, once I jumped from that into higher ticket, higher, longer offerings, because what happened is I was still at that dollar per hour at $497, and I wasn't scaling. And then I finally like, what if I held them by the hand and showed them everything I learned in a step-by-step process and got them into this right away, got them making money right away? What would that look like? And I tried it out with a couple of people. It works. And so I'm like, okay, let's create a program around that. And I will tell you, when I did that, lots of other things happened, which was amazing. Like, just the quality of what I'm able to deliver increased. The amount of how quickly I can get them to where they want to go just shortened. The duration of like how long it took them just went from like months and months of like, come on, now do this, now do that, to like really shortening it, because these people were all in. Like, they were super serious and they wanted to do it. So you know, like, if I can do this, what I want to emphasize is that it's possible. And one thing, like, which really held me back was believing that the people in my tribe weren't, like, they gave me $3 for an app. They aren't going to go up to like a high ticket program. There's just no way. And, you know, like, Christina, she's here. She's proof of it. She's in my high ticket now. We're going to be working together, and it's super exciting. So a lot of it comes around crafting the right offer, which I'm not going to get into that now. I think I'm going to do a separate one in that about how to craft the right offer. But also, you know, like buying high ticket, it's, you know, like what I was doing here, it's like somebody goes into a dealership and they want the Bentley, but you're like, okay, well, here, first get the hat, all right, and then come back next week and I'll give you the keychain, all right, now come, now you graduated up to the jacket. No, they just want the Bentley. Like, that's what they want. So you give it to them very quickly in a very short period of time. So, and what I want to share with you also, I'm going to give you 10, I think I wrote down 10. Let me just see. Yeah, 10 things to remember. And I wrote these down. So if you want to get your notes ready. Okay, so number one, you have to throw away everything you learned inside your niche. So I believe, like I said before, I believe that nobody would pay like $1,000 for a product. Like when I first got that $500 customer, I just thought, no way is anybody on my list going to pay this. But if you craft the right offer and present it in the right way, then they'll hand you their credit cards like that. Okay, so number one, instead of thinking like all the things you can give them at that price point, think of the result that you're going to get them really quickly. What's the result I'm going to achieve for my clients that they want? So like if I'm a health coach, what result could I give them in 60 days or less? You know, what would that be worth them? How much is their health worth to them? Like, you know, health is everything. They want to feel great. So like if you're a biz coach, how can you get them to that goal quicker? Like if they want to double their sales or find their clients quicker, how can you get them that result in a very quick period of time? Hello.
Hi. Let's see.
Who is that? I just have CLS.
Yeah, it's me.
Hey, hello.
Hi,
I'm going to get you Christina and Christine mixed up. We got Christine.
Everyone always calls me Christine.
Me too. Well, you know, that's not true. Everybody calls me Christina, and I'm always like, it's Christine.
We can stop for this.
Okay, so I just went through my backstory. Now I'm getting into the 10 things you need to know to sell high ticket. And number one is to forget everything you knew about like your industry. Like people aren't going to buy this. Just forget that. Because if you craft the right offer, people will buy. If you can get them the result super quick, people will buy. Okay, so and don't think about what the market says it's worth. You know, that's a real big one, because you know, like you'll be looking at some other guru out there or coach, and you're like, okay, well, they're charging top buck $1,000. That doesn't matter. If you've got some secret sauce, some connection, some wizard way to get them a result quicker, that doesn't matter. So let's see. Okay, the second thing is premium price. Clients show up committed. I mean, they will do what you ask them. People who pay attention. And like if you're in 2CCX, you guys, I mean, seriously, think about it. We paid a lot to be in that high ticket. I mean, that's a huge amount of money to pay to be in that mastermind. And you show up, like you check that Facebook page every day. You show up at, like they're going to have an event next week. You're going to go there, right? So people who pay attention. So, and also number three is then you show up. Like with my high ticket coaching, I am there. Like I have them on Voxer, boom, you know, they leave me a Vox, I turn around, I Vox them back, and you are there. So you show up and you'll be all in as well. Number 4 is you stop wasting your client's time. And that's, again, where with the whole going in to get your Bentley and here's the mug, here's a keychain, like, it's so frustrating. You're actually doing them a disservice because you're dragging them along with no results. So if you really want to change their lives quicker, you got to go high ticket. And then your clients are reassured and much more confident. So when they spend like $8K to change their lives, you know, they're much more confident. Think about it. Like if you were going to go to get eye surgery done, would you like open up the yellow pages and pick the cheapest guy, or, you know, the most expensive person? Like the most qualified is usually the most expensive too. So like when you lower your price, then you're actually lowering your value to, like, in their mind, they're thinking that you're not as qualified. And so you've already positioned yourself as, you know, there's somebody out there who's more qualified than me. So it gives them that reassurance and confidence. Let's see. Number 6 is you hit your revenue goals so much faster than if you go this whole model. And when you can get those, like you can get 2, 3 really good high ticket clients, serve them really well. And because you're serving them so well, you can build all these little pieces out. Like the things that you're giving those high ticket clients, like pull one thing out and that makes the rest of your value ladder that you can give to the lower price item. So go for that high ticket. Like whatever, and you know, like if your monthly revenue goal is, let's say, 50,000, then, you know, that's closing, like, let's say your high ticket is 5,000 at the lower end. That's closing 10 people, you know, in 1 month, which is maybe like, if you're closing at 50%, like I usually close around 100%. And so that's like 10 calls a month. That's it. And these calls take like 45 minutes. So, you know, you hit your revenue goals so much faster. You work with fewer clients, which is nice because then you can give them a bigger impact. And, you know, here's the other part with having fewer clients. Less team. You need less team to support. So like I launched this challenge. I was like, oh my gosh, how many people are going to show up? Because I've never done this and like at this level. And I was fearful that I was going to have to hire on a bunch of support team. But thankfully I have enough people in place to keep it all going. But like when you're offering all these little lower ticket items, then you need a lot more staff to support them. And I've got a small team and I like it that way. I don't want to have 20, 30 people on my team. I want to keep it super small. So, okay, so that was number 7. Number 8, which is hiring the team. You don't need the team. And let's see. I think I skipped something here because of my notes. Oh yeah, here's something with number 7. This is what I like about number 7 I'm going to jump back with having fewer team members, and I'm going to spoil it for Christina, but okay, can you just turn me off for a minute because I want something to be a surprise. So here's something that I do with my high tickets is after they join, I send them flowers. Okay, you can turn it back on. And these little surprises and these little things you can't do with lower ticket. Like you can, am I back on for you, Christina?
I think so. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for being so cool about that. So like when you have a higher ticket client, you can just do these little like these surprises and over deliver and like handwritten notes and send them presents for their birthday and for their kid's birthday and Mother's Day, things like this. Like really, I love on my clients. Like they're my family. Outside of my original, they're my family. And when we get together, it's like a sisterhood, brotherhood. There's one guy, so I should get to look at it. But it's super close, it's super tight knit, and that's like when I was in creating apps, there was none of that. It was all like very official and sign on the contract and like this is how I always wanted my business to be. So like when you go high ticket, you get that relationship. Okay, so 8 was you don't have to hire a team. Number 9, this is really good. You stop getting ready to get ready. And by that, I mean like, I have to get my Instagram, 10,000 people following me on Instagram, and I got to get my podcast up, and I have to get my Facebook, and I have to get, like, you just stop with all that crap, it's because that's all just like pushing it out in the future even more. Like one of our coaches in 2CCX, he says, you better hope it'll be a get rich quick scheme because you don't want to get rich slow. Because the sooner you get rich, the longer you get to enjoy it. And I absolutely believe that. Like there's money out there. Like I think one of the biggest misconceptions about abundance in the world or about money in the world is like the amount of abundance of money that's out there and where it's flowing. So yeah, you want to just like get there. So yeah, like you stop wasting time just adding to the noise. Like I got to put one more Facebook post out and one more thing out and one more sales thingy, one more like, one more special. No, you just cut straight to it. And number 10. So this one's the best. I forgot I put this in here. You're just going to love life more. I get up and I go for walks in the morning or I go to bar, and I honestly cannot believe that this is my life. Like I get to do this. Like I get to work with the women and men that I love to work with. Like I'm watching them profit, and it's just like a win-win for everybody. And we have so much fun doing it. So all right. So like I said, my goal was to persuade you, and I'm going to get into questions at the end of it. But right now I just want to pause it, and I want to hear what your biggest takeaway was out of those 10. Like each person, I want to hear from you what your biggest takeaway was. So Susan, do you want to start with what your biggest takeaway was?
Well, starting at the high end without getting a lot of other things like stepwise in place, that's like a mind screw, because a lot of other how to build your business online or not, it's completely the other theory of how you build a business. So that's interesting to me, because I get what you're saying and it makes sense. And I've wasted a lot of time on all the other stuff, like, oh yeah, my Facebook posts, and oh shoot, I need Instagram and I got to figure out how the heck to use it, and okay, what little free thing do I have? I've spent a lot, and then I never get to the other part. It's like, I haven't felt like I had the precursors lined up, so then I never get to doing high-end clients. So
yeah. Some of my coaches they'll charge $1 million for one gig. Their Instagram is pathetic. Like they have nothing on Facebook, because their focus is on their clients, so yeah. So you're off the hook, Susan.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, Steve. I'm just gonna, you guys are in a circle. I'm going around a circle. So,
Sure. You know what? I really enjoy the idea of stop waiting to get ready.
Mm.
You know, it rather than, I liken it to dominoes, if you will, as though you have this whole set of dominoes in front of you and you keep on thinking, oh, wait, I need one before that and one before that, as though eventually you're going to find this magical domino, right? Instead of starting. That funny thing about dominoes is you knock the 15th one over and they all go. So I love how you're saying this is you do not need to keep on setting dominoes in the front. Start going right here.
yeah, right? Let them knock down the other direction.
Exactly.
Yeah. Super cool. Awesome. All right, Christine.
So hold on a second. Of course, my phone has to ring. So my biggest takeaway was, I like the fact that you don't have to have as many employees, right? So I like that. I know like some people call it a high touch, you know, where you're having a more personalized. So yeah, I've heard about the whole high touch thing. The thing that you do that Christina can't know about, I like that. Right, I thought that was like a really good idea, but I like having like less staff, right? Less moving parts, less moving pieces, less managing, right? The more you can do that, like the more you can control, you know, the environment and how the outcome comes. So I like that thought. I like that idea.
Sweet. Yeah. Awesome. All right, Claudio.
Yeah, for me, it is about the high touch. And actually, Carla, this is the first time that I'm interacting with you. I love your energy.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, great. That's great. I love it. And yeah, for me, the high touch is huge. And I'm a very very sentimental guy. I'm all in and all of that. So I love to actually bring people. Clients for me, they're not just clients. I really want them to succeed. So for
Right.
me, that high touch is like, oh yes, and so many times I cannot do that if they're not paying much, and it's like I cannot do much for you, not because I don't want to, because I need to manage my time and all of that. So
Yeah, less clients, more love.
yeah, thank you.
Awesome. And Christina, what was your biggest takeaway?
Well, for me, in trying to do this previously, I'm generally looking at it from the perspective of, okay, what do I have and how do I want to offer what I have and what I do and how much am I willing to do? But I like number two, shifting the perspective to like, what is the patient's goal or the student's goal and how to get them faster? It gives me another perspective to come in and actually clear up some of my, do I want to do it like this or like this or like this? Because I can do it 6 million ways, So I think that gives me a good perspective and a good focus to start creating those things.
Yeah, and you and I will sit down and we'll craft your irresistible offer. We'll figure out what that is that will like get people there quick. Like they just can't say no to it. It's just done. So awesome.
Well, and I'm sorry, but I have to go pick up the 2 little kids.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just making it for our 1 to 1:30, but I will thank you all and I will talk to you guys soon.
All right. Well, thank you, Christina. All right. So the second half of this, what I'm going to get into is the actual script. Now, this script was one that I got from Eileen Wilder. So she's in our 2CCX group, but I changed it up a little bit to fit my demographics. And so this works really well. And one thing I want you to know about high touch is and high ticket is you're going to build that intimate relationship as soon as you get on the phone with them. You're going to know, is this a good fit or not? And I'll get into why that is. It may seem like, oh, this isn't very moral or I shouldn't be doing this. But a lot of times with individuals, it's the first time they've actually had a chance to discuss what's on their mind with anybody. Anybody would give them a point to listen. So, especially, they say sales is just 90% listening. And that's so true. Nobody wants to be persuaded, especially as women, we just want to have somebody listen to us. And so listening is the number one thing you're going to do on these calls is just listen to them. And also, when you listen to them, if you can zip your lip, you get so much information from your target market. Like, even if they don't sell, if you don't even close on them, you're going to learn so much about who your target market is and what's in their heads, because you want to live there in their heads. You want to figure out what's going on so you can solve their problems. So I'm going to go through the script, and I will share this with you so you don't have to like write it all down and feverishly taking notes. But I have to move this over so I can see you guys at the same time. There we go. So one of the first things that I do is just like, hi, it's Carla. Thank you, Susan, for joining me on this call, this strategy session. And don't feel overexcited. And this is super hard for me because, you know, I'm like high energy anyway. And I'm like, hey, how's it going? Like, I want to feel like, I want to go in like that. But like right away, like, I don't, psychologically, people will put their guard up if you're like so enthusiastic. So you got to be calm. Like, I have to calm myself down before the calls because I get so excited that I'm going to talk to somebody. And okay, so like, I'm so excited. How are you? Like, warm it up. Where are you from? I'm so glad you're calling. And one thing that I really like is to just honor them for taking the time to be there, like taking a bold step already. Like, recognize that booking that call, I don't know how many times, I know I've seen a button, book a call here, and I'm like, eh. And so like they were super brave to book that call and they getting that far. So recognize them for that. And then, so it's good to talk to you. First, I want to honor you for applying. Most people get too nervous to book a call, but you did it. So well done. So then the next thing I like to do is you got to take control of the call straight away. Like, you got to say you're the teacher and they're the student. So give them an overview of what the call is going to be like. Just give them a quick structure. So I'm going to give you a quick overview of the call. I'll be asking questions and taking notes. And we'll do a deep dive into your goals and dreams. And sometimes, depending on who that client is, I'll say like the dream that God placed in your heart or something really, deep like that, and get you unstuck. And then at the end of the opportunity, you can hear about XYZ program and see if it's a right fit for you and for my organization or whatever, however you frame that. And then, does that sound good? So that's your first trial close. And Susan, do you know what a trial close is?
Were you trying to get people to agree sort of along the way?
Yeah, you just get them to say yes, yes, yes. So they get habitually yes. Okay. All right. So first, why don't you sum up in your own words what it is that caused you to apply for our focus call, laser call, focus session, strategy session, whatever it is. And here is where you get to hear what's going on in their life. And you have to really dig deep into their pain and ask some questions about it. Because a lot of times what people are doing, all of us included, is we got situations going on in our life and we're like, okay, I'm not going to look there. I'm not going to pay attention to it. I'm not going to pay attention to it. And if you really truly care about these people, you need them to look at that problem. Like, what is that really costing you? Honestly, you've got to get them to do that, because too many people walk around with blinders and they're not going to do something about it. And if you really want to help them, that's something you got to do. So where are you feeling most stuck? What do you think has prevented you from achieving your goals? What have you tried in the past? What keeps you up at night about this issue? So what do you think is going to happen if nothing really changes or shifts in the next 3 to 5 years? Like, you got to future pace them. How is this problem going to keep going? And then you got to get into that emotions. So all of the decisions we make in our lives is controlled by our subconscious. And our subconscious is in the right side of our brain where our emotions are as well. So everything that we buy is emotionally triggered to purchase. And so you need to get into those emotions to get them to move to that, to get them to take, because it's a bold action you're asking them to take. It's a very bold action, and it requires a lot of bravery. But they're not going to be brave unless they know the consequences of no action. And so, like, how does that feel? What does that feel like? What does it feel like? What are you feeling? How is that like manifesting in your health, your relationships, and your job? Like, how is that really affecting you? How's it affecting your family? And you know, it gets emotional. I'm not going to lie. It gets super emotional, and I feel blessed that people trust me during this period. You know, I know Susan got emotional during her call. She knows she's got a big calling in her heart to do something. And so people get emotional. And a lot of times, like, nobody's ever listened to them at that level. Nobody. So you're doing them a favor. All right. But this is the part that I really love is, and this is what Eileen calls, she's a pastor. So she plays this thing where she pretends that Jesus is there with a magic wand, waving a magic wand. But I just say, let's wave a magic wand. And everything that you, like, all your dreams and goals come true, and nothing is harmed. And I think that part about nothing is harmed is really important, because we always think that if we get something, then we have to lose something. And so letting them know that whatever they have, their family, their home, their relationships, their health, it's all safe. It's all safe. And you're going to get what you want. So what is your goal in this area? What would be ideal? And then they just like, this part's fun, because then they're like, oh, I'm going to travel, and I'm going to be speaking on stage, and I'm going to be helping this person and that person. And, you know, they just go nuts. And like, I'm going to take my kids to Disney, and we're going to do this. And then they're like, well, how much money are you making? And they're like, well, I don't know, $5,000. It's like, what? I just waved a magic wand, like, go for it, honey. And then we talk about, like, what would you do with that money? Like, what would you get rid of? And they talk about getting rid of their mortgage, and like just getting rid of their house, and traveling, and, you know, driving in a caravan with their kids. And it's so much fun. It's so awesome to like be there when they're dreaming big. And like, they talk about what places they want to go, like where would they change their lives. And then, like, I say it again. So let's pretend like you're got the best-selling book, you're got these big group training sessions, you're making $80,000 a month, and you're like traveling with your family, going to France, got a house in France, blah, 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 blah. How does that feel? And allow them to go into that emotion as well. And that's super, super cool, because a lot of times people will cry at that point. Because it's like, wow, that's been like something I don't even let myself dream like that anymore. So, and then how much would it be worth to you if you could do that? What would it mean to you? And here now you got them, and this is where you lead to the close, you pivot to the close. And let me sum up what I've heard so far, and you can tell me if I'm on the right page or if there's anything you want to add. And then I just sum it, like I keep notes and I summarize what I heard, you know, what their fears are, what they want for the future, and I just summarize it up in a few sentences. And then I try to weave in what this is really costing them. Like, you know, this is, again, where you're holding up a big mirror and you got to show them, like, this is what it's going to cost you. Like, collapsing at the end of the day, not wanting to get out of bed, you know, working for too many hours and not enough pay. And then is that about right? And usually, you know, yeah, wow, you're dead on. Nobody's listened to that before. Nobody's said it like that before. I've never heard it like that. You're so spot on. You know, like, these are all the things I hear. And so then I go, well, this is what we do. very much. We see and we work with women. I have the word woman in there because I work mainly with women. I work with women like this all the time. And based on everything we talked about, I'm 100% confident we can solve all those problems. And I only say that if I know that's a good fit. Like that person is a good fit and I know that they can. Because like I've talked to people that are like sleeping on a friend's couch and they've got a kids and, you know, they aren't a good fit. I just get them off the phone, like if they aren't a good fit. All right, and so then I pivot to, and I always ask these things, always ask. I'd like to explain how I help women like this and see if it's a good fit. Is that okay? And usually they say yes, because just reciprocity, like you listen to them, so they'll say, yeah, I'll listen to you now. And so then I give them a very high level of how you're going to solve all their problems through their offer. I don't give them step-by-step instructions, but more like, okay, I have this group coaching and we get together once a week. I'm going to hold you by the hand and we're going to figure out exactly how we take what you have on the table and start profiting from it within a couple of months or 4 to 6 weeks, something like that. That's step one. So we give you financial freedom in step one. Step two is we build up on that. We build up the more clients you have. So like you give them that high level view, because like if you go down into the weeds of, okay, and then every day we're going to go, like they're going to go, whoa, yeah, right? Claudio's like nodding no. It's just not, they're going to get scared with all the details. And so, but let's see. And then other things, like right away, I know a lot of their fears are like, what if I fall off? Like I can't keep up. So I already covered that part for them. Like, you know, you start the training whenever you want. If you fall behind, you catch up whenever you want. This isn't like you're on a rigid schedule. And then I go into all the things that they get, all the bonuses that knock down an objection. And then I say, so how does that sound to you? Is it something that you think you would be helpful? They always say yes, like, oh, duh. And okay, awesome. And then Christine, what did you like best about this XYZ opportunity? Did you like changing other people's lives, making tons of money, or both? You know, usually because people just repeat the last thing that you said, they usually always say both. So, and then the next thing is I ask them, what questions, if any, do you have? And the more questions I ask, the more interested they are in your program. And, you know, like every time they ask a question, tell them it's a really good question. Let them know, because they are good questions. There's no bad ones. And when they have no more questions, then you say, great. Since you don't have any other questions, do you mind if I ask you some questions? And, you know, again, they'll say yes, because they feel indebted to you. And then you do, okay, great. Claudio, let me ask you, if you had the opportunity to start benefiting to make impact and changing lives and making money sooner or later, would you choose later or would you choose sooner? And 99 will say sooner. And then, well, that's awesome, because right now we're offering a special right now. Normally, and then you give them the highest price, like your retail price, which, you know, $32,000, $25,000, whatever it is. However, right now, because you're part of this program or you're referred to by a friend or whatever, I am removing, you don't say I'm giving a discount, I'm removing $8,000 from that. Another tactic that I think is really awesome by another coach of mine is he will say it's, you know, $25,000, but I'm going to give you back $8,000. So you can get started in this and this and this right away. Or like if you're going to one of these events that usually cost like $3,000 for the event, and he'll say, look, for the first 15, I'm going to give back $1,000 so you can pay for your plane ticket, or so you can pay for babysitting or the parents, something like that. So the total investment is just whatever it is, $10,000 for this program. And then you recap everything that they're going to get. You say it again to get them reminded. And then there's an option for putting down X amount now, and then another amount over the next month, or so you offer them the payment plan, or we offer our fast action takers just a one-time over the phone pay in full decision maker discount. And hi Ashley. And then you say most people are just putting that on a credit card. And when you do that, we also throw in, and give them a couple of bonuses. So not only do you decrease the amount, but you give them more for paying that full amount over the phone. And then I said, like, most people are opting for this. This gives social proof, and people want to be like most people. So Ashley, I'm just going to mute you, okay? And then which option works best for the two payments? Then you ask them which option works best, the payments or the quick decision maker discount? Which one works best for you? And if they say they can't do that, then say, okay, cool, I got you totally, because that discount, whatever you're offering for a discount, is just offered now on the phone. So what we can do is I can hold that discount for a deposit. So you can go talk to your husband, or, sleep on it or whatever. And that always, they feel really good about that. In fact, Ashley, who's on the phone, went for that option.
I don't want to interrupt you. Say that again. So you're saying that, so what's the deposit? I missed that. I don't want to.
Right. So let's say, okay, I can't do the payments. I can't make a decision right now. I'm kind of like, I don't know. I got to talk to my husband, who's usually the number one thing they got to do, which I totally get. So this is, again, this is like inviting them at a table. So, but you want to still keep their feet to the fire with that quick decision, like really quick decision. Some of the coaches that I've worked with, they've given me up until like 6 p.m. that night to make a decision, which I think I'm going to start incorporating. Is I'm not going to let people linger on. Depending, Susan, I tried to sell her. She needed to think about it, and she's still thinking about it. And oh, good. I'll get your credit card details right after this. And anyway, I didn't give her any fast action, $500, none of that, because she is in my challenge. So I know I'm going to be interacting with her over the next 21 days anyway. And so she's going to hear, she'll know by the end of the 21 days whether it's good for her or not. So I didn't do that. Ashley, on the other hand, she's like, I want this. So okay, what you can do is put $500 down, and I'll hold that discount for you. Because she wanted to talk to her husband, which I totally get. I don't want anybody to make decisions without their husband, but sometimes I tell them, look, and I make that $500 totally refundable. So if they put that down and they come back with a no, I make it refundable. Other people may say no, but again, I want people who are 100% in, because I don't want to be selling them after they join the program. Then we're going to be really fast moving, and I can't be spending time trying to still sell them. They need to be in. So
okay, so just saying, so you got your $500, and you say you're holding this deposit till 6 p.m. tonight, which gives you an opportunity to talk to your husband.
Yeah. Well, with Ashley, she wanted me to talk to her husband. She wanted us to talk. So I couldn't talk to him that night. I had some family events going on. So the conversation happened the next day. And so I just held it, like, and no big deal. Like, I hold it, like, sometimes I hold it till COB Friday or, whatever. But usually I think it's lessening that, because you already, like, stirred up the emotions, and then they have more time to sleep on it. They can, like, talk themselves out of it. And, like, I'll figure this out, which is the worst thing they can do, because then they're going to, like, go back and
Right.
look for
That's
websites.
why when we have like a time like cutoff, so you don't give somebody too much time to talk themselves.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to start putting forward. Is like, it's going to be, you have until, like, I don't know, end of today or something like that. Like, I was talking with Myron Golden, and he gave me 6 o'clock tonight. I want to hear back from you 6 o'clock tonight. And I gave him an answer 6 o'clock, but I'm like, I need to know ABC. And then he never got back to me on ABC. So, like, I don't, like, even he doesn't have, Myron Golden closes at like $1 million, just so you know who he is, Susan. And you can look him up. He has this podcast called Bible Success Stories or something like that. He's a high ticket closer. But anyway, yeah, I think urgency is a huge thing. You got to put that in there. And they're going to, like, also, you got to be true to yourself. You got to take that opportunity of the discount off the table. Now, here's what I do that a lot of coaches won't do, but I think this is, like, going to hold my feet to the fire, as well as my customers, is I will only charge them up to the first 3 months. And then they got to start making money off of what I taught them before I charge them again. So that's
Fair.
like, yeah, it's super fair. It's, and because if they're at 3 months and they're struggling, like, things aren't working out, then, like, let's shift them to a different program, a different thing, like something else. Let's not keep them fire hose, like, I don't know. So that's my own viewpoint. All right. So, and I've never had that problem anyway. Everybody always makes money. So, all right. So I say I hold the discount, and then you can get started when you're ready, and the discount will be yours. And then they say, great. So how do I spell your last name or your first name? What address do you want? And like, if you're giving them a bonus or an affiliate check or something in the mail, like, what address can I ship you your starter package to? Those sort of things. Great. What's your phone number, best email address, your credit card, and which will you be using today? And, like, I think I had this on here. Like, I usually say, like, most people will pay with Visa, MasterCard, or Discover. Which one will you use? And that most people, like, lets them just go, okay, there's a lot of people doing this, like, herd mentality. So they don't feel like, oh, I'm out on my own. And then, like, you got it. And then you say, let me be the first to celebrate with you, congratulate you. I know it's a great feeling, investing in your future. And on behalf of the lives I know you're going to change as a result of XYZ program, thank you. And then you tell them what's going to happen next. So next you're going to receive an email from me. You're going to get, like, this textbook or something or whatever. And you give them those next action steps. And tell them it was so awesome to speak with you, and then get off the phone. Because I like to talk, and I will, like, sabotage the sale at that point. So, and then I'll sabotage it for everybody. So get off the phone, because you're going to be talking to them anyway. So, they're going to be in your program. You're going to see them a lot. And that's, so that's the script. I would love to hear, like, if you guys have any questions or anything, let's open them up for questions.
I have a question. My question is, because it sounded like you do the intake call yourself
Yes.
instead of hiring other people to do those steps, and then, yeah.
No. I like to hold their hand. I join high ticket programs, and
Yeah.
oh, Ashley, I'm gonna take you off of mute too, so you can talk. Maybe I will. I don't know. Anyway, I think she mute other she's open. Okay, so yeah, I go into other programs, and I tell you, I get this flood of like documents I got to fill out and stuff, and it's like, okay, this is another high ticket program with way too much information. Like, it's just going to draw me way too much information, and I already feel like I'm behind the curve before I even got started. So you don't need all that, like to get them started. You just like to get them profitable. Again, the reason they're paying for high ticket is to get a high result right away.
Yeah.
Not like intake forms and blah, 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 and da-da-da. Like, they get my Voxer, we get on Voxer, and I can call them, and I got their email, Voxer, phone number, we're in touch. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you.
Any other questions? Oh, you're muted, Christy.
Sorry. Here, I got another question. So, because I ran into this also before with another offer, right, where you do have like the mothers, the women, right, who are sleeping on couches, they can't fix their car to go to work, whatever, right? And so I didn't know how to help them, because I'm like, I don't, like, you have to have money, at least something to get going. So is that why they're a bad fit? Because you kind of glossed over it. You're like, well, they're on the couch, so they're a bad fit. So is they're a bad fit just because like they wouldn't be able to pay for getting up and running and stuff?
Okay, here's the thing. If people want it, they will find the money.
Right.
They will. I mean, think about 2CCX. We all found the money. I know when I joined 2CCX last year, I'm like, okay, this is going to take everything out of my savings, my backup savings, and I joined it. Best decision I ever made. And I'm so glad. And also, because it took everything out of my savings, I was there, man. I was on, like, with everything, every freaking call, everything. I was just a sponge. So, and now, a year later, it's like earning me, close to 80,000 almost a month. So I'm going to get that 2Comma award if I'm on par. Yeah. If I maintain. So yeah.
How
Any
long
other
did your
questions,
calls last?
Susan? You look like you have one. No? Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, having also just done a call with you, like,
Yeah.
and hearing
Is this
like, I'm going, okay, and now I see what that was about. So, like, the thing that's going through my mind is, if one is offering services that are like really for a person, I can see how this goes. Some of the stuff that I think I bring to the table, I'm actually, like, the business is probably the one hiring me as opposed to a person.
yeah. So
then that seems like that's probably a bit different, or maybe not. I don't know.
no. So you're still selling to a person, right? And that
Right.
person is going to have 3 objections, is all. Just 3 objections. It's either going to be about the vehicle, which is the solution you're selling. Like, I have some gum right here. So do you like gum or not? That's the vehicle. An internal belief, will this work for me? Or external belief, this person won't allow me to do it, or somebody's going to stop me. So they only have 3 objections.
Okay.
So we craft your offer. So when you're in our group, we'll craft your offer to, like, everything that you're offering will knock down those objections.
Okay.
So, like, I don't have enough time. Well, that's fine, because I got all these checklists and done for you things and copy, and everything's already done. You don't have to do that. You don't worry about the time. You show up for an hour a week or 20 minutes a week. That's it. My husband or my boss or somebody, that's fine, because we're going to have this that'll make your boss look better. We have this special bonus, and all the bonuses are things that knock down what they call false beliefs, which are objections, just objections. Like they have these predefined objections because what you're offering them isn't like something completely different. It's like, you tried all this over here. Now we're just going to try this other thing. You already drove the Chevy. Now let's try the Ford, because there's a few different things in the Ford that you're going to like. And you know what? This isn't just a Ford. Maybe it's like a Cadillac, or I don't know, something upgraded a little bit more. So you're going to go to the next level. But that's crafting all that as part of knowing who your customer is and what have they done in the past. So a big part of my discovery call with you, I wanted to hear what you tried in the past, because I want to know what my audience is already doing.
Okay.
Yeah. Steve, did you have something? Oh, Christine has something.
Well, yeah, one quick question. So, like, I know in past trainings that I've had, you know, people will say, you know, try to make the call. Like, when you're telling them, like, during the call, like, this is what's going to happen. I'd let you know, we're going to keep this call half hour because I have another appointment or something after that, right? To kind of give it like, well, we're not going to spend the next 5 hours, you know, sorting everything out, right? So how long do you like your calls to be? Half hour, 20 minutes? Like,
so what I do is I schedule them depending on like how they come in, but normally I schedule them for about 15 minutes.
15.
15.
Okay.
And I let them go for an hour.
Okay.
So they feel like they got a ton of value because they thought they were only going to get 15 minutes, and we talked for like well over an hour. And I won't schedule, like, so if I have a 15-minute call, I don't schedule anything until an hour and a half later. So if it overruns or anything, I have plenty of time.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Steve?
This is great, Carla.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah. So Ashley, I will get you up to speed on all of this.
Sorry, I missed the beginning.
No, that's cool. You're busy right now. So, but I'll get you up to speed on all this. And because interesting enough, another student, she had to leave halfway through. So we will recap it again.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
And Carl, and you said you said you're going to give us a script, because I mean,
Yeah,
yes,
I'll share that script.
but, you know,
I'll share it in our little group. Yeah.
Can you share with me as well, Carla?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, Claudio, are you in 2CCX?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
I'll be
and
sharing
Steve is
it
my
with
coach.
students and people in 2CCX. And
Okay, cool.
Susan, you're going to be a student. I know you are.
are you kidding? I might be a student. I'm like, I don't know. It sounds good. I want to do that. Okay.
Yeah. Well, super. Well, thank you. I know we ran over. I was hoping to keep this under a half hour, but you know, it's a lot to talk about and digest. If you have any other questions, please reach out and let me know.
Great.
All right.
Thank you. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.